Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game Over Winnipeg. My name is Brady. I will be your host here tonight on a night where the Winnipeg Jets lose 4-2 to the Minnesota Wild. A very important and big divisional matchup. A game where you can, there are many ways you can look at this game. The Jets did play very honestly, pretty good. Any game where you get, how many shots did they have? Like 40 something? Let me see here. I should have had this. I'm so sorry. I believe it was about 47 shots, if I'm not wrong. The Jets came out and played really hard tonight. But also, some certain decisions have been made by the coaching staff that I think we're going to have to talk about. We're going to talk about Marc-Andre Fleury. Anyone feeling a bit of a flashback to 2018 playing the Golden Knights in that Western Conference final? Good grief. What a goalie. We're going to talk about the new guys again because they seem to be one of the only bright spots on this team. And yeah, we're going to go through all of that. But before we do all that, got to get a couple things out of the way. First off, want to bet? They get in on the action at Sports Interaction. The boys of summer are back on the diamond, and March Madness is on deck. Bet pregame, live, and player on one of our many prop bets. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN, or in Ontario, download the app now by using the QR code at the bottom of the screen. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Alrighty, first off, happy International Women's Day. Liz has the day off. I think that is the best thing that we can give her, especially considering the performance the Jets gave us tonight, or at least the result, not necessarily the performance. So shout out all women. Congrats. Happy for you. Yeah, you guys are the best. Anyways, this game. So, all right. I like to take it through you guys through the game, kind of talk about it. But this game didn't really have the right feeling to go, bit by bit, explaining every single goal. So maybe I'll just kind of go quickly through each period and then touch on the topics as they come up. So first off, coming into the game, we always gotta dress up the game. The Winnipeg Jets are back, are only 4 points ahead of the Calgary Flames. The Minnesota Wild we're sitting in second place in the division, and 4 points ahead of the Winnipeg Jets, if I remember correctly. And so this is a big game. I mean, any game against a Central Division opponent who you're battling for a playoff spot is going to be a big game. But especially considering the place where the Wild are currently right now, and the bit of the slide that the Jets have been on. Of course, it's a 4-point game, so getting a win tonight would have been very, very helpful. But Marc-Andre Fleury, unfortunately, has something to say about that. The other changes we get: Pierre-Luc Dubois once again out of the lineup. Really odd considering he played the other night against the Sharks. And now he's again out. This time it's undisclosed, whereas previously it was just a lower body injury. I'm worried that maybe they rushed him back. I'm not sure what the injury is. We don't know if it's related to what he had before. But regardless, if it is related in somewhat, why did you rush him back? Again, I don't really know the timeline on him yet. I'm not sure if it's been, put out there. I'm sure we'll get some messages in chat in case it has been. But yeah, so that's a big loss there, of course. So filling in the 2C spot, we have Vlad Namestnikov, which honestly not that surprising for me. We've already seen Kevin Stenlund play there. We already know Adam Lowry doesn't really work there. I thought Stenny played fine last time, but it's always good to switch it up. And the game that Stenlund did play at 2C a couple nights ago, I can't remember who it was against, that Cheveldayoff even mentioned, I think that was on trade deadline day, that was against the Oilers. Cheveldayoff mentioned that, Vlad Namestnikov, a very useful guy, can be put anywhere in the forward lineup. He likely would have been playing second center, so seeing him there tonight did not surprise me. We're going to talk about him definitely. I thought he had a great game, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Logan Stanley enters the lineup. You know, I gotta say, I was ready to come on here and really get upset with this decision. Of course, he scores the first Jets goal, and actually was really good on it. I'll break that goal down when we talk about the second period. But I think that regardless, I still think that coming into this game, the right choice would have been to play Dylan Sandberg. Once again, this is you need to set yourself up for success as best as you can. And in my opinion, Dylan Sandberg is a better defenseman than Logan Stanley, despite the goal that he scored tonight. Again, it's his first goal of the season. You're not expecting to get a goal out of him, just like how Kyle Capobianco scored the other night. It doesn't mean that necessarily he is the best guy to keep playing. Although I'm sure now we're going to see Logan Stanley in the lineup for many more nights, which, just the fact that he even got into the lineup is very strange, especially considering, the whole trade request. And ever since then, he's been getting, put in the lineup a lot more often. I don't get it. Speaking on the trade request on itself, I think that it's very odd. I like to be like, I don't think that I'm getting the opportunity that I deserve here when he's been given the opportunity, the most opportunity of any young defenseman for the Jets. I digress. We're not here to talk about Logan Stanley only. I still think it would have been better to play Sandberg, but of course Stanley scores that goal, which unfortunately doesn't do much to help the Jets. But yeah. So starting off with the game, the Jets actually the Jets played well tonight. I think we have to acknowledge that. It's not often the Jets get 40, 50 shots on goal. I still don't have it up because I'm so dumb. It's not often they get that many shots on goal. And so, looking at the start of the game here, they come out hard and Fleury, immediately starts showing that he's going to make a difference this game. This is okay. I'm going to get into it right away. I don't think that Connor, Scheifele, and Nino is working. I think that Nino is working. I think that Scheifele's there, and I think Scheifele and Nino work together very well. I just don't think that this is a line that is going to be a successful line, especially come playoff time. Right now is the time we're trying to figure out or prepare ourselves for playoffs if we even get there, and obviously try to get there. But I don't know. Every time that I see Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor playing together, it just hasn't worked anymore. I feel like both of these guys just think that they can get away with doing these fun, dinky little passes, and they don't play as hard. And that's why Nino has been such a revelation for this team, is because he's able to slot into that top six and immediately make a difference because he's one of the only guys who are working. Not working in the sense of getting things done. Well, I mean, getting things done, but he's one of the only guys who's actually putting in an effort. Anyways, so the reason I bring this up is early on, the Jets get a 3-on-1. And this is when Kyle Connor is bringing it in on the right, and it is so obvious. It is so obvious that he is going to go for a pass that the Wild defender just easily puts his stick down, blocks the pass, and, it is what it is. This could be a very specific thing that I'm nitpicking. You could say that it was a great defensive play by the Wild's player, but this early on in the game, you already are seeing that Marc-Andre Fleury is playing well today. He's not having, one of his games where he's been playing like he has been this year, but rather this is one of the games where Marc-Andre Fleury looks like Marc-Andre Fleury of old. If you get a goal on him early, that can shake his confidence. I think that is very important to remember, is that it's not just, everything has an effect, and the effect on confidence is big. We're going to obviously have to talk about Hellebuyck in this game. Not one of his best. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Let me know in chat. What do you guys think about the Bronx cheer for Connor Hellebuyck? Obviously, in this game, he lets in a couple weak goals. The first one was the third shot on net. But this one I actually don't really like. I don't blame. I don't look at this one and go, man, you got to have that. Which there was one goal tonight that I look and go, you absolutely have to have that, which is the third goal. Again, we'll talk about it. But like, this is just, it's just so it's so tough to see this team come out with such a good start, have no like ability to finish. As soon as they get in on the opponent's zone, they are just unable to put the puck in the net. And it's so gut-wrenching to immediately see on the third shot, it's a shot that it's kind of like a one-timer. It's not really. And it's from above the ringette line. Like, this is one where I'm not saying you absolutely have to have it, but God, that's tough. That's rough. And, I'd be lying if I said that Connor Hellebuyck hasn't been going through a bit of a slump recently. But I also think that a Connor Hellebuyck slump is him playing like an average goalie. Not all the time can he be God himself. Unfortunately, he's a human. He's a human goaltender, and he's going to have off nights. He's going to go through bad patches. It is what it is. And the Jets owe it to him to give him some support. 2 goals is not enough. In this day and age, scoring 2 goals a game will net you as a below 500 team. Right now, the Jets have 2 wins in their last 11. So it's tough. And going back, they have how many goals? I think I had, what was it? When I was talking with Kishore on one of the Edmonton games on the back-to-back, the 13 games leading up to then, they had a goal average of 2 goals a game. This is a team that needed more finishing power. And you know what? I love Nino. And I really like Vlad. And I'm going to talk about him in a minute. But man, this just goes to show that why Kevin Cheveldayoff should have been more aggressive at this trade deadline. This team needs a scorer. This team needs someone who can finish, because the guys who you usually rely to finish on, or you usually sorry, the guys you usually rely on to finish aren't doing it. Like, Kyle Connor has, I'm not here to specifically pick on him. I'm not here to specifically pick on Mark Scheifele, but for a while now, ever since they played on that line with Blake Wheeler, once that line got reunited, every single time between the two of those guys, it just feels like they are playing pond hockey when against NHL players. Like, it looks like they're just trying to make silly little passes back and forth. Oh no, you shoot the puck. No, you shoot the puck. It's not going to work. And that's, again, going back to Nino, why Nino is so, he's a different archetype of player where he is battling in the corners to get pucks. When he gets the puck, he drives the net, he takes shots, and he gets himself in the right spot. One of the biggest things I want to praise Nino about is the fact that he constantly is in the right spots. Too often I see Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor waiting for the work to be done, for the puck to jump out and come to them so that they can just put their finishing touch on it. I'm sorry, that's not how this game works. You need at least 2 guys battling in the corner, one guy who's on the puck, another guy there immediately supporting him, and then you can have your third guy, trying to hide in the weeds to be open in case the puck comes out, and you have that option available to you right away. And just too often now, I'm seeing these guys like Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor giving the puck up in a way where it's like, there was one specific play I can think of. They were both skating up the ice, on a break-in kind of thing where, they had numbers, and Kyle Connor just kind of hands the puck off to Scheifele, but Scheifele isn't even ready for it. So it kind of just goes off, and he isn't able to really handle it. They've just lost their crispness. The two of them just don't look crisp. That's one of the things that when they're playing their best, they are able to make great passes to each other. It's on the tape. It's perfect. It's that chemistry, and it just feels like it's not there right now. So, in my opinion, I think at this point you have to switch something up. I'm going to keep saying it. We can't have Nikolai Ehlers playing 15 minutes a night. We'll talk about the end of the game, of course, too. But you can't I'm gonna stifle. I'm gonna stop. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going on rants. Let's bring this back to the game right now. The next note I had written down is that Nemesnikov looks really good at center. And also in the top six. He looked fantastic tonight. Like, when I look at this team, there are specific little things that stick out to me, and it might just be because it's different from what we're used to as Jets fans. But there was one where he just had such great support in the defensive zone that he was able to just intercept a little pass, pass it off to a D-man, make a nice little breakout pass, carry the puck up. And that's a lot more than what we see from our usual centermans in the top six, because they're more relying on other people to get them the puck so that they can go on a breakaway or something like that. So I really liked him in the middle, and at this point here, if Pierre-Luc Dubois comes back healthy next game, Vlad Nemesnikov should be in that top six. Blake Wheeler does not deserve it. At this point here too, there has been how many games now where Blake Wheeler just looks a step behind. He's not able to hold on to the puck. And he just looks bad. Like, he just doesn't look like he has it anymore. When your skating starts to go, NHL players will retain the hands that they have. The best players who have, long careers, and are able to stay at a high elite, elite pace or, play going forward are guys who can usually shoot the puck. Like, I'll just be honest with you, because then, the movement isn't really as important. You can usually rely on your younger guys on your line to do the work, and then you can be the finisher. But Blake Wheeler is kind of like, he doesn't have that. So he relies mostly on his hands to, make nice passes. But then you get opportunities where the puck comes to him, and more than in the past, he's just fumbling the puck. He's not making passes across. Like, he's forcing stuff that just will not work. There was one specific time on the power play, he enters the zone. He's got two guys on him. The very obvious play is just dump it in the corner, try to get someone else to get it. He tries to force a pass into the middle. And the Jets, one of the 8,000 times the Jets got denied on their entry to the power play, which we're going to talk about, it's just not working. And so I sit here and I go, Rick Bowness, what is going on, man? This is the least creative we have seen him in a long time. He's obviously switching things up on the bottom end of the roster, throwing Mason Appleton up into the onto the third line, if that's kind of out of necessity because Nemesnikov moves up. But man, the power play. We got to talk about the power play. What is going on here? What actually is going on here? I wish I had better numbers in front of me. But they went 0 for 3 tonight. Again, how many games has it been? How many of the last 11 where the Jets have only 2 wins out of 11, less than a 20% win rate? How many of those games did the Jets go 0 for on the power play? Like, what's the deal? What's going on? And this is even with Nino Niederreiter, being added to the fray, which I think he really helps the power play. Because again, he's one of the guys who's willing to actually support the players rather than just stand in his spot and wait for the puck to come to him. I'm at a loss for words. I really am. I don't know what needs to be said, what needs to happen for Blake Wheeler to be taken off of that top power play unit, because he doesn't fit there. And you know who does? Nikolai frickin' Ehlers. I know a good chunk of people who are sitting here in the in the chat here likely also follow Garrett Hull on Twitter. But Garrett Hull had in case you missed it or anything like that, we had him on the show a while back in like November or something like that. He put out a an article on his Substack, the 5-hole HOHL.substack.com, called this one weird trick to fix the Winnipeg Jets, and coaches hate it. You know what it is? It's playing Nikolai Ehlers more. This guy cannot be getting 15 minutes of ice time every single game or less. I just want to read one little tidbit from it. Pop quiz time. In this season, who has scored the most 5v5 points relative to their ice time? A full 10% above the second highest. I wonder. Okay, next question. How about in 2021-22? So last season, this player was a full 15% of their points relative to their ice time above the second highest player. Oh, how about the year before that? Albeit by a hair, but was still leading the Jets in 5v5 points relative to their ice time. Let's go back another season, 1920. Ooh, that was a bad year. Who was the highest 5v5 point scorer relative to their ice time by 25%? It's Nick Ehlers. This guy is the most efficient scorer on this team. Over the past, 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, where the Jets can't freaking do anything to get the puck in the net, this guy has been playing 10 minutes a night, 12 minutes a night, 13 minutes a night. Oh, 15 minutes. Wow, what an increase. What is going, what needs to, why? What is, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get. Is it because he's European? Is there like a xenophobia issue here? Is it because he's a practice mess upper? A guy who just happens to mess up drills and therefore the coach hates him? I don't get it. I don't understand why your best forward, literally your best forward, is constantly getting benched. Why, in a game, such an important game like this, why is Nick Ehlers on the bench when you need to score a goal to tie the game? Why is Adam Lowry, a guy who went 35 games without a fucking goal, on the ice? Yeah, to win the faceoff. I get it. Okay, that's fair. He should get his ass off the ice the second he wins that draw or loses it. Whatever. Who cares? I'm not talking about faceoffs right now. Why is Blake Wheeler on the ice? Oh, so he can stand still in one spot, fumble the puck? Oh, I get why Mark Scheifele's on the ice, but this another guy who's unable to handle the puck tonight, the puck comes to him. He on this empty net opportunity, he fumbles it immediately. It goes to the Wild. They go down and score their empty net goal. Boom, bang, game over. Who cares? Like, what has to give here? What has to change? Like, why is it that we're doing the same song and dance every single year? Like, what is it? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't. I'm seriously at a loss for words right now. Like, how? Okay, you know what? Let's go through the power play now. Let's go through the power play now because I feel like that's a healthy extension of this. All right, first power play that they get is in the first period. Pretty predictable. They get a couple chances on. Fine, whatever. Who cares? Great. The second power play gets on again, and they're splitting time between the two, which, in my opinion, you should load up one unit, let them play the 2 minutes, and get every chance that they can on net. Okay, second power play. Power play can't enter the zone. 26, Blake Wheeler tries to force it through two Wild players. This is what I was talking about earlier. He gets the puck on the right wall. He gets immediately swarmed. Once again, it is a 5-on-4. You have two guys on you. That means there are only two other Wild players on the ice, other than and then also you have four. So then immediately you just throw it to open ice. You have a 4-on-2. Nope. Let's force it. Let's try to force it between two guys' legs. All right, that's a failed zone entry. Okay, let's bring it up and get back in. Oh, look, we failed our zone entry one more time. Oh no. Okay. Here, neutral zone. Let's pass it to Scheifele. Scheifele, you break it in. Scheifele can't handle the puck. It bounces off his stick and goes across the blue line. And the Wild just dump it back into our zone. Okay, great. That's a minute of our power play gone. Let's put on Nick Ehlers and his and his group of misfits onto the ice and see if they can do anything. Let's have Nick Ehlers passing the puck to Adam Lowry. Once again, a guy who went 35 games without a goal. Why is he on your power play unit? Why? Literally why? All right, so that's the second power play. Let's go to the third one. In the third period, once again, I wrote this down specifically. You need to score on this power play. You need to. They're down a goal in a 4-point game near the end of the season. You have the team behind you who's not in a playoff spot, the Calgary Flames, who are 4 points behind you. You need to win this, and you need to make sure that the Wild don't win this, because if they do, they're 6 points ahead of you. They're 6 points ahead of them now. Okay, how about this? So, of course, like I said, Kyle Connor draws a trip, and so power play starts. Jets win the draw, great. Goes back to Morrissey. He takes a shot, gets blocked. Wild dump it out. Whatever, that is what it is. You gotta shoot. I have no issue with that. They enter the zone. They get a good zone entry. Wow, whoa, crazy. Puck goes in behind the net. Blake Wheeler decides, rather than, I don't know, making a pass tape to tape, to rim it around the boards to Mark Scheifele. I get that can be standard, but still, with how the things have gone, with how the puck has gone for the team, not great. So then Mark Scheifele is unable to handle the puck off the wall. There's another, 20 seconds gone. They try to enter, and they're unable to enter again. The Wild dump it back down. First power play gets off. There's a minute. Oh, there's our minute. Clock out, whatever. We did nothing. Great. Cool. And then power play 2 comes out, and same thing. They get some chances. It's insane that power play 2 with such less pieces. Again, I don't want to talk shit about Schmidt. Vlad Nemeskov isn't a power play 1 guy. I like him, but he's not a scorer, I would say. Neil Pionk is an offensive defenseman, so that it makes sense why he's there. But then again, Adam Lowry. Why is Adam Lowry on this? So you're putting your best player out with a bunch of guys who definitely aren't your best players, and he's still creating chaos and getting chances. So I just don't get it. I just don't get why you don't put finishers on a power play with Nick Ehlers, because he causes so much chaos. He also is a free zone entry every single time. My biggest frustration with the first power play obviously is the fact that they can't enter the zone. The CLC was booing them because they couldn't get into the zone. And one of the big reasons, I think, is just a difference in how Nick Ehlers and Kyle Connor both play the puck when they're coming in. So Kyle Connor likes to defer to pass, because obviously the Jets do the whole drop pass thing, and the whole drop pass thing, which obviously has the benefit of it kind of gets the defenders out of sync. But the issue, though, too, is that the forwards on your team are also having to stop at the blue line. So the issue is that you don't have anyone coming up with speed with Kyle Connor. So the only option he has is to offload it to a guy who's standing on the blue line, who can then either hit him with a give and go, which never happens because that's how they get intercepted. That's the whole force pass thing with Wheeler that I was talking about. Or they can dump it in down low. So Nick Ehlers doesn't often do the give and go thing. What he likes to do is he dumps it in deep. Kyle Connor dumps it in deep too. The difference, though, is that Nick Ehlers gets down below the goal line and supports and gets the puck back or applies pressure, whereas Kyle Connor just drifts off to his spot. Once again, you need to battle for the puck. If you don't work for the puck, you're not going to get it. What happened to this whole we're going to be a harder team to play against? No, you're not. It's so easy to get the puck from you guys. You guys fumble it. You guys are your own worst enemy in regards to puck control. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting I'm getting ahead of myself, but again, it's just I just don't know where to go from here. I don't. We need serious change at this point. How do you not react to this? How does Bowness not take a second to step back and go, why have we been losing? I'm sure he does. And tonight you can definitely chalk up to Marc-Andre Fleury playing fantastic. That is true. He played a great game. But The Jets didn't do enough to get it done, and some key mistakes hurt you in the long run. Once again, from the start, if they're able to get a goal earlier on, you might shake his confidence, and that can change the entire game. Considering Marc-Andre Fleury has either been a pumpkin this year or fantastic like he was tonight. But alas, again, where do we go from here? This is the team we have. This is it. This is the team we have. It is up to the Jets. It is up to the Jets and Rick Bowness too, of course. But it is up to the players, or it's up to the coaches to put the players in the right place to succeed. And that's all they can do. And then the players got to do it. So all I'm calling for is the Jets to, one, provide a little support for your goalie. How many games have the Jets played awful and Connor Hellebuyck has kept them in it? Again, easy example is the Rangers game where, he made 50 saves. And then like I said, it's like I just need to see more effort, man. I just need to see more effort. I'm so frustrated watching the guys on this team, the top players. And listen, I'm an Ehlers defender. He didn't have a fantastic night or anything like that tonight, but I also don't think that he was put in the right position to succeed. He never is. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. But alas, like I said, this was a really important game for the Jets. They needed this win, and they didn't get it. And it could potentially hurt them in the long run, whether that's getting them a worse seed in the playoffs than what they could have had, or if it's just missing the playoffs in total. It's a real possibility at this point. It very much is. The Jets have played 65 games right now? Yeah, 65 games. So of the Calgary Flames, only 4 points back. That's a weekend of hockey. This is far from the team that we saw in December, and the Jets at the same time have the same pieces, so they do need to figure it out. I think that they can. I do still have some optimism in this team. Any team that has Connor Hellebuyck on it, and guys who, when they're on and when they're crisp, are able to score at will, like Kyle Connor, when guys like Nick Ehlers are put in a spot to actually score, to play more than 15 minutes, the sky's the limits. I don't know what to say here other than, I still have faith in this team, and that's why I'm so frustrated tonight. That's why, even in a game where they get goal lead, I look at this game and I go, there are some decisions that are wrong. There are some plays that, just aren't working. Some lines that I don't think are working. Blake Wheeler shouldn't be in the top 6. I'm sorry to harp on him so much, but I just know that when Cole Perfetti comes back from injury, Blake Wheeler is still going to be in the top 6, and Cole Perfetti is going to be on the 3rd or 4th line, which makes no sense considering he's significantly more responsible than he is. Oh, look, hey, look at my beautiful reverse retro jersey that I finally got from Christmas. Anyways, shout out, Mom. Happy Women's Day to you if you're watching. But like I said, this was an important game for the Jets to win, and now they're off on a road trip, a very difficult one to say the least. They got to go through Florida, through Tampa, through Carolina, and through Boston. Those are games where they're only 2-point games, whereas tonight was a 4-point game, and against some of the best teams in the league. So it's up to the Jets. It really is at this point. We can only sit here and criticize and say what they should have done, and yell and scream about whose fault it is. But I still think there are things that they can build on off of this game. It's not often we get games where the Jets get 47 or so shots. So, you know what? The finishing should come at some point, but I think that there are some changes that are in order, and I'll be very interested to see what those changes are, if there are any, come the next game. Which I believe is is the Tampa game next, or no, it's Florida. I could be wrong. Let me see. It's Florida. The Florida game on Saturday, which I believe I will be back here on Game Over with you guys. I'm sorry that wasn't really much in the chat here tonight. I ended up just going off on it because that's all I felt like I could do here. I really do appreciate you guys all tuning in, though. But hey, like I said, it's on the Jets. And with that, I will thank you for joining me. If you're listening to this on audio, come join us in the chat after every game. I'll be here yelling and screaming as always. Liz, my fantastic co-host, will be here with me as well. And, if the Jets make playoffs, you should be seeing a lot more of us together, which I think some of our best shows are when her and I are bouncing off each other. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Lots of time before the next game on Saturday, which means there should be plenty of practices for Bonus to, like I said, institute some changes. But alas, I will be signing off here. Follow me on Twitter at NHL Chunky. Follow Liz on Twitter at Liz Hood. On SDPN, we are having a Women in Sport podcast coming out. A special one with, I think, Rachel Dory's going to be on it. Liz will be on it. And all of the women from our network, and maybe some other guests. Please check it out. They're all fantastic. But yeah, regardless, I'm awful at outros. I always stammer on for too long. Thank you all for joining me. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Game over! Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.